Hey guys, it's Jesse with Workout Generator, and on this week's how-to, we're going to be cooking up some chicken titties. Now, most people claim they know how to cook the basics, and let me tell you, chicken titties are definitely pretty basic, but let's be real, most people don't know how to cook shit. They'll burn microwavable water for all I'm concerned. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so let's get right into it. First thing you will need is your chicken. Now, one of my biggest tips to enjoy your meal prep and to enjoy your food is to season it to taste. And that doesn't mean just throwing salt and pepper on it. That means putting something on it that makes you enjoy it when you eat it. And for me, that's salt and pepper. So I have it peppered. I have it salted. Now, next thing we gotta do is turn the stove on. Alright, so I'm turning my stove on medium. And I'm doing that because I don't want to burn the chicken, but I don't want to take 5 hours to cook it. Now what I'm going to do, and I hope you guys can see this, is I'm going to add just about maybe a tablespoon of olive oil. Now you can use coconut oil, you can use avocado oil, or you can use extra virgin olive oil. I do not recommend you using canola oil or vegetable oil. It's just, there's just better things out there, so let's go with that. So this skillet actually heats up pretty quick. One of the ways I test to make sure the pan is ready to be used is kind of just put my hand over it. If you feel some heat coming off it, then it's getting close, maybe wait a few more moments. So let's wait a few more moments and then let's get these titties frying. Alright, so you can see it's literally been maybe 1 minute and this pan is ready to go. So what I'm going to do is just throw the chicken titty right on there. Now, if you listen closely, you can hear the noise of your muscles growing in the near future. And that means you put it on at a good time. If you don't hear anything, it means you waited too long, you didn't wait long enough. If you hear it crackling and popping and oil shooting off everywhere, that means you've waited a little bit too long. You're going to be alright. The edge of it's going to be a little bit crispy, and maybe that's the way you like it. But she's sizzling, and let's get a close-up of that. You hear it? You see those bubbles forming? That's good news. That is great news. So check the time. It's 6:56 right now. We're going to take a little break. And when we come back, it's going to be time to flip it. Now remember, it's 6:56, maybe 30 seconds, who knows, but you get the point. Okay guys, so it's 6:57. That's very little time. I'm sure many people have a few minutes to spare in their day, and if you don't, well then you're probably a bum and you suck. But anyway, besides that, all it takes to meal prep, if you're doing it efficiently, is an hour at most. And right now we're just doing a little chicken breast, but you know, you gotta develop these simple skills before you can dive into the bigger ones. You know, you gotta learn how to walk before you can run. And that's pretty good. You quote it. Now we're cooking this one little chicken breast, you know, maybe in a few weeks as you guys develop your skills, as I show you how to do that. You know, we'll do a full-on meal prep, and I'll show you how it really takes an hour. And when I meal prep, I do about 3 days worth at a time. If you do longer, then you start risking, you know, your food getting dry, your food getting old. It's just not really palatable. So I like to do every 3 days. Keeps things fresh, keeps it tasty. You don't have to worry about old food, any weird smells, nada. And again, it takes an hour to do 3 days worth of food. And right over here, you'll see this. This is actually my rice. I cook 3 cups worth every day. It's instant rice, so you literally boil the water, you add the rice, and it takes maybe 8 minutes, and your rice is done. So now it's 6:58. It's really starting to crackle, pop, and snap. So what I'm actually going to do is, now I'll bring you closer. So I'm not sure if you can see this, but my mom's going to be pissed because the oil splattered all over the stove. So what I'm going to do, if you actually put your hands here, you can feel hot oil. Don't cook shirtless. I've learned my lesson many times with bacon. it's not good. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm actually just gonna turn the stove down to to like a 3 or a 4. I'm gonna go to a 3.5. So it's about like at 25% of the heat that I can do. Within a few moments, you'll hear the sizzling actually kind of slow down. But a lot of people would probably flip too early right now. They think this chicken is burning. But what it's actually doing, for me at least, it's cooking the edge very well. So I'll actually show you some of the pre-stuff, the stuff I cooked earlier. It has that nice golden brown. I really like that. Some people might not. But when you hear it cooking, crackling, splattering, that's giving a nice golden flavor. And this actually gives it very good flavor. And it doesn't actually dry it out too much. So it's been 3 minutes. 3 freaking minutes. And we're getting close to flip it over. Now, you can imagine this with a slightly larger skillet. They got 3 or 4 chicken boobies in there at once. It's cooking. And maybe in another 2 minutes, we're gonna flip these. So it'll be a total of 6 minutes. And then within 4 or 5 minutes, it'll be done, depending on the thickness. And that's it. You're done for 3 freaking days. So we're gonna take a little break, and when we come back, we're gonna be done. Okay, I gotta turn it down a little bit more. This chicken's feisty. I hope it's dead, because it's getting pretty aggravated right now. But when we come back, it's gonna be time to flip it. Okay, welcome back. Now, one of the ways you can tell chicken, red meat, fish, really any kind of meat that is ready to be flipped over is you'll actually see either a liquid seeping through the top, maybe some blood from red meat. If it's fish, usually there's a white fat that starts to seep up to the top. With chicken, it's typically white too. You can see some in this crevice. Let me get you guys down there so you can see that. So you see this stuff starting to leak out on the top. You can see it's starting to almost get watery. That means that the juices from the bottom have heated up so much, it's starting to come out the top. Now, when those juices get so hot that they actually push through the muscle, that means that it's actually cooking the inside of this. So that means we're ready to flip it, because we don't want to burn this booby. We do not want to do that. So I'm gonna get my little tongs here, and we're just gonna flip it over. Come on. Now, this one, we got a nice golden brown top to it. Again, that's how I like it. Now, if you don't like it like that, keep the heat lower when you initially put it on. Don't put it at medium. Or actually, I shouldn't say that. What I should, quiet down, all right? I'm trying to take a video, chicken. Now, what I should say, find out how your stove works. You're not gonna get it perfect right away. Do not let that discourage you. Because what's medium heat for me may be somebody's 25% heat on their stove. What my 25% heat on my stove is, could be somebody's 75% heat on their stove. So what's important here is to learn what works for you. And what you'll find is that is what's the recurring messages throughout all my videos is find what works for you. The way I'm doing it may not work for you, but at least it gives you an idea of how to get started. You know, you gotta be bold. That's the word. You gotta be bold. You gotta try things. You can't be afraid to fuck up your boobies. You can't be afraid to burn your chicken. You can't be afraid to go in the gym and look like a fool. You know, you just gotta try it. You gotta learn from your mistakes, and you gotta move on. The worst thing you could do is you could make a mistake and not learn from it and never try it again. The best thing you could do is make a mistake, learn from that mistake, and then go at it knowing what not to do. Because that limits the ways that you can fail, because you've already failed once, you know not to do it this way. So like I said, right now the chicken is a little bit crispy for me. Not for me, I'm sorry. The chicken's a little bit crispy for some people. So what you want to do is just turn down the heat instead of having it so much heat going at it once. Now when we come back, the chicken will be about ready to be pulled off. I'll pull it off. I'll show you how to cut that kitty up. We'll throw it on some white rice, and we'll have a meal made up that is perfect for just about any time of the day. It's great for you. It provides your body with energy, provides your muscles with what it needs to regrow and repair. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. All right guys, we're back. This chicken's still crackling, popping, and squawking. Now, if you look at the time, it's 7:08. So we started at 7:54 is when we turned the pan on. So it's been 12 minutes. And by the feel, the aura the chicken's giving off, I think it's time. I think it's done. Best way to check is a good old firmness test. Now if it feels firm, that means the chicken is probably done. It feels firm, but you can never go wrong with cutting the thickest part of the chicken breast and just looking. So yeah, I mean that's done as far as I'm concerned. That's done. D-O-W-N, done, down, done, D-O-N-E, done. That is done. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull that off the heat. I honestly can't believe how much this thing's crackling. Of course, when I make the video, my mom's gonna be pissed. Anyways, so we're gonna let this cool down. In the meantime, let's go a step further with this video and let's prep my rice. All right, so I got my bowl here. Now I don't ever eat using a plate because usually I spill things, so a bowl kind of keeps it contained. It's easier for me. Now I got my rice right here. It's already made up. Now when I made this, I made it knowing I was gonna make 3 cups, and I've already eaten a cup and a half. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put this into the bowl. And you know, I've actually already had my first workout of the day, so I'm about to actually go to my second, so I'm gonna save this little bit of rice for after my workout to help give my body some of the the muscle it needs to regrow. So I got a nice bed of rice right there. I would just love to stuff my face in there and sleep on that as a pillow, but due to people thinking I'm weird and that's inappropriate, I can't do that anymore. So I'm not going to do that, but what I am going to do is show you how to slice and dice this chicken. Okay, so it is 7-Eleven. It took us about, well, not about, it's taken us, we started at 6:54. It's been 10, 16, 17 minutes, start to finish. We are finishing right now. Now what we're going to do, typically now, if I'm going to store the chicken, I just leave it as is and throw it right into the Tupperware. I let it cool down at room temperature for roughly, I don't know, just whenever it's cool. Because if you cap it too soon and throw it in the fridge, it just builds up, it pulls out a lot of moisture, so I like to let it cool down first. So now what we're going to do is we're going to slice and dice this so I can throw it on my rice. And the best way to do that is just cut it in long strips. Always make sure it's cooked as you're cutting it. Now another thing is if you start cutting it and you notice that it's not fully cooked, you can just throw these strips right on the hot pan and it will cook it up real quick. But that doesn't seem to be a problem here. Nope, we're good. Okay, so I got the chicken cut up, and I'm always checking how much weight of protein I'm eating, because I always want at least 6 ounces, uppermost 9 ounces. So I'm going to put this on the food scale, tear it off, which means to zero it. We're at 0, so now we're just going to throw these on here. And this looks maybe a little light, but again, I'm going to the gym in less than an hour. Oh, we're at 6 ounces, beautiful. Who would have guessed I was going to pull that off? Huh? Huh? Come on now. Now I'll show you another little thing I do. I put this aside, shut off the scale, and I make this chicken and rice way more delicious, because as this is, you know, it might be good, but it's not great. So I'm gonna make it great. I love jalapenos. So what I'm gonna do now is add these jalapenos on, and I'm not just gonna throw on whole, I'm actually gonna cut them up. These have 5 calories per quarter cup, so there's really no way that you could eat too many of these and go over your calories and become fat. And these add great flavor. So what I do is I get about a spoonful, and then what I do is I just cut it one way, kind of move it around, and then boom, 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 done. And then I just scoop them up, throw them on top of the chicken, and then again, now it's good, it's better than it was before, but it's not great. So now I'm gonna add some Frank's Red Hot. This has 0 calories, but it adds a huge amount of flavor. Now I don't watch my salt intake, I just keep it consistent every day, and that's pretty key. However, if you have any medical conditions, don't listen to me. If you don't have any medical conditions, then give it a shot. The problem is when you fluctuate your salt intake too much, your body can't adjust, and that's when you start having problems. If you keep it consistent, then typically you're okay at having a moderately high amount of salt. But again, I'm no professional here. I'm just basing it off experience and other bodybuilders' feedback and whatnot. Now, I love Ken's honey mustard. So this is good. This is really good as it is. But again, I'm gonna make it great. I'm gonna make my dish great again. So 2 tablespoons have 130 calories. So that could add up over the day. If I'm having this 3 times a day, that comes out to being 390 calories, which is it's a lot more. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm only gonna add a tablespoon, which is a drizzle. Then I'm gonna mix it up, and I'm gonna enjoy. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope it helped. Be sure to follow us. Oh, God, follow us. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. Links down there somewhere, either here or even in the description. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to our channel. I'll be making some how-to videos every week. I may get my cute-looking girlfriend who will probably make the videos a little bit better. I might get her on here if she has the time. She knows a great amount of knowledge, and she looks good, which is always good. I know I'm not the prettiest, but pretty good. But regardless, thanks for following us and watching us. This chicken's gonna be great. I'm about to stuff my face into it, which again, don't do it around people because they think you're weird. But thanks again for watching, and have a great one. Be sure to check out workoutgenerator.org.